I think people don't have a clue how quickly your life can change in 1 year. All you need is one person to believe in you, a coach, a mentor, a scout, a CEO, an investor, and boom, your life's changed. All you need is one opportunity. That might be exposure online, exposure to important people, exposure to money. You may just need to be seen by one person and you get blessed with that job or that opportunity. You can go from nothing to something overnight. You can go from hopeless to hopeful overnight. I did. I was a jobless uni student. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know my purpose. I didn't know how life would be once I graduated, but I kept going and everything fell into place. Look at me now, killing it. So I'm here to tell you, stay focused. God's timing is the best timing. Your life can change so much in such a short period of time.
Hello everyone, this is Emmanuel Cook. We will be reacting to a new video today, so make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let's get into the video.
I want to talk about how so much can change in just 1 year. Last year at this time, I was so depressed. I was not happy. I was overweight. I wasn't caring about my health. I didn't have a job. I was just very unhappy. To think back where I was 1 year ago and where I am now, I woke up, I did a sauna session, I did Pilates, and I got a latte. I'm just so much happier and I'm such a different person than I was last year. And I want to talk about how I got here, how if you were in a rut right now, think about in 1 year from now where you can be and what your life could look like. Last year I was really unhappy. I didn't have a job. I had no motivation to do anything. One day I was just done. I wanted change, so I took some steps to change. The big thing with me was I am a very social person. I needed social aspects in my life, but I wasn't getting that because I was staying at home all the time. So I actively looked for a job and I got a job that I actually really liked, that I didn't know I was gonna love at the time. I started getting outside more, feeling the fresh air. I started going on walks. Walks were one of the biggest things that I think started me on this little journey of just a happier life. I started to make healthier choices in my diet, focus on more whole foods, cut back on eating a little bit. Once I did those things and I was starting to feel so much better. At this time, I also did not have a lot of friends, so I was still trying to actively look for friends, look for a community, because I just didn't have that community. I didn't have anyone really around me. I do have my family somewhat nearby, but not like by me. Actively looking for community. I was going on walks. I finally got a job. I was interacting with people, which I need. Some people don't need that, I get, but it was just making me feel better. Then I decided to get a gym membership, started working out at the gym. I was never pushing myself. I was never restricting myself. I was just trying to make healthier choices because I was not liking where I was at a year ago. I work in an infrared sauna and red light therapy spa, so I consistently was doing the infrared sauna, which the infrared sauna does help detox, helps boost your metabolism, boost your immunity, stress relief, helps with your mental health. It helped big time with my mental health. So overall, just doing that, doing my walks, eating healthier, trying to make friends, just so much more motivated, so much more excited about life. I started enjoying life again. I started to post on TikTok. I started growing a little bit of a following, super exciting. And then I started making some money on it. I was like, this is awesome. So I was really just trying to find things that made my life more exciting and really focus on me. To look back at where I was a year ago, I never thought I would be where I am today. I've always wanted to be a little Pilates and latte girl, but I just didn't put my mind to it. I put my foot down. I was sick of feeling disgusting, sick of just where I was at. So once I started making small changes, they end in big results. Now 1 year later, I am so much more happy. I do have a job that I love. I've made some friends. I found community. I've been going to workout classes. I've been just enjoying life so much more. So I just want to say, back to the year ago girl, I know that it's hard, but keep on going because you'll love your life in about 1 year. I hope I gave you a little bit of motivation just to keep going if you're kind of in a rut, because I've been there, I've done that, and I hate it. So if you guys have any questions and want to know more, I'm so happy to share.
What if for 1 year you let yourself be delusional? You let yourself get your hopes up. You let yourself really work internally, figure out what you got going on, do some shadow work, do some internal digging, heal your shit, heal your trauma, start being nice to yourself, right? Start dreaming big and being like, what do I need to believe about myself if I want to get everything that I want? What if you started talking to yourself nicely? What if you started believing in yourself? What if you started remembering all of the amazing things that have happened to you, bringing that to the forefront, focusing on that, focusing on every amazing thing that you already have in your life, focusing on gratitude, and just for 2025, you let yourself be wildly delusional, asking yourself every single day, what is the best thing that could happen? What if things can go right this year? What if everything isn't happening to me, but everything is happening from me and for me? What if you really let yourself go all in just for a year? That is how I started on this journey. I did not believe in manifestation. I did not believe I would ever heal my shame, ever heal my trauma. I had some shit to work through that I didn't think I would work through. But I said, okay, fine. Let me just give this a year. Okay, let me just go all in for a year, because if it doesn't work, I wasted 1 year out of 90, right? But if it does work, it's going to change the entire trajectory of the rest of my life. And quickly, I realized that this stuff works, that you can heal your trauma, you can release your shame, and you can quite literally manifest anything that you want. I promise this stuff is worth it. I promise that you are worth it. And I promise that you can manifest anything that you want, because you are inherently worthy of receiving everything that you've ever wanted.
Let's talk about how you have to be delusional if you want to grow on TikTok, but not only grow, you want to make like a full living out of TikTok and social media in general. When I first started sharing everything I knew about content creation on TikTok back at the beginning of 2022, I had no idea where I was going with it. All I knew is that I was sick and tired of my 9-to-5 and my narcissist boss that was literally killing my mental health. And I kid you not, in less than 3 months, not only I was making the same that I was making at my 9-to-5, I actually doubled that income. And then last year felt like nothing but a dream. I got to work with like dream brands that I never thought it would be possible. I worked with other major creators and even celebrities on strategy for their own TikTok growth, which was wild. And then it very quickly became my life's mission to be able to establish my business in a way that I could spend at least 6 months of 2023 living in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. And then this was the view of my apartment that I spent from January until July in Ipanema, which is, by the way, the most expensive area in the entire country. And while I was there, I kept the Delulu going, and I started my own content creator accounts in Portuguese in Brazil. Oh my gosh, I feel like I definitely overdid this. Anyway, I started my own accounts in Portuguese, just talking about other things that I was passionate about. And I was able to grow my Instagram from 15,000 followers to 150,000 followers, and a whole TikTok account from 0 to now almost 45,000 followers. All of that in less than 6 months. I knew the things that I was passionate about. I knew how to talk about them. I wasn't burned out from talking about them because I'm passionate about those things. And I wasn't afraid of showing up. I wasn't afraid that just because sometimes my content fluctuates between getting more views or less views, and sometimes I go viral and I get 10,000 followers in a week and then I get kind of stuck for a couple months. The ups and downs are going to happen no matter what business you decide to start or what industry, if it's online or offline. That's just life. Point is that if you want to become a full-time content creator or an online entrepreneur and build your business online, you have to want it more than anything. You have to have that vision. I don't care, build a vision board, whatever you got to do. If you're dreaming big and bold enough, chances are other people are going to think you're delusional. Who cares what other people think or say? Because if I ever thought about that when I was building this account and my other accounts, I would never be where I am today, and my clients wouldn't be where they are today. So let's just say, trust your gut, be the Lulu. This is your year. You can still make it count before the year ends.
1 year being locked in can change your life. Make 2025 that year. For so long, I used to always try to avoid the work, but in reality, the work, especially the work that I don't want to do, is the only way I'm going to get the shit that I want done. You can't avoid the work. You can't rush the process. But you know what you can do? Be consistent. Stay disciplined. Keep a routine. Make sure you don't fall off your habits. If you miss a day in the gym, go tomorrow. Don't miss a day in the gym if you can help it, and you can help it 9 times out of 10, because we'll make time for the things that we feel are important to us. So if we're not doing the things that we say are important to us, they're really not. If you find yourself eating like shit and you aren't happy with the way your body looks right now, but you're not in the gym changing your habits, stop eating fast food and all that shit like that, guess what you give a fuck about? your unhealthy habits. You're addicted to your own suffering. So in order to get out of your own way, you have to do what you have to do. And if you do what you have to do, and if you stay consistent, and if you look up a year later, you'll be in a completely different life.
It's a Friday at 2 o'clock, and this is my office. Yeah. It's my office for today. I work full-time from home. I get to do my work wherever I want, and the work that I do is on my own business. And I also contract. But it's just crazy because my whole life was so different last year. Like, I'm literally walking in my purpose. I'm a spiritual mindset coach. I teach people how to shift their realities by shifting their mindset. And I really did that shit for myself, which is, it's amazing. It really is. Like, when you actually do it, it blows your mind. And you start to really understand the power of your thoughts, your intention, attention. Where attention goes, energy flows. When you stop fucking thinking and limiting yourself by your beliefs and your fears and putting all these restrictions on yourself, it's crazy how much can happen for you. Like, it's crazy how many opportunities pop up in your life when you stop getting in your own damn way. So yeah, stop complaining. Change your narrative. Change the story you keep telling yourself. Stop putting limiting beliefs on yourself. Find the root cause of where your limiting beliefs are coming from so you can actually reprogram them. And your life will be better. Like, a lot of people talk about manifestation, changing, shifting your reality. At the end of the day, you don't have to learn it. You're already doing it. You've just been doing it unconsciously. You haven't been putting any intention around it. You already know how to manifest because it's something that we naturally are always doing. You just have to be intentional now. You have to know what your values are. You have to know what life you would like to live. You have to actually put yourself out there to experiment and do different things so you can say, this is for me or this is not for me. And once you walk down that path, you will start to become more aligned with your true self. The more that you align with your true self, the more opportunities that make sense for that true self will come into your life. So yeah, I have never been happier in my life. I was living a drastically different life last year, and I have shifted my whole entire reality in just 1 year. It's quite amazing, actually. So yeah. If you're like, Sanaya, how the hell do I do that? My link is in the bio. Check it out. If it aligns with you, cool. If it doesn't, find a way to get the information so you can actually stop being miserable. And yeah, I love you guys. And once you start loving life, life is going to love you back.
A quick reminder, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let's continue the video.
Oh, the power of small steps is so damn real. I cannot even tell you. At the start of the year, I decided that this is the year that I want to change my life, right? And I had such big goals for this year that I thought that I would never be able to achieve. But the only way I was actually able to achieve them now that we are in December 2024 is because I divided those big girl goals into tiny little steps, actionable steps, and aligned action, and actually do that on a daily basis so that I make them into habits, and that's how I slowly achieved them. So step 1 was to actually write my big girl goals. Step 2 was to think of what everyday habits do I have to do to achieve them. Step 3 was to incorporate them into my lifestyle and actually make time for it. For example, I learned swimming this year, right? And I was super scared of water. So what I did was I'll put my picture of swimming in the ocean on my vision board. That was my big goal. But then I divided that into a habit, which was going for swimming classes every week. And then I put it into my lifestyle, which was when will I go to my swimming classes. I booked a class for Thursday evening, and every week on a Thursday evening I would go for a swimming class, and I would also practice it on a weekend. So either Saturday or a Sunday I would go, depending on how my routine was that week. And once I did that, I learned swimming in like 3 months. And then I went to Philippines and I did swimming in the ocean, and also did snorkeling, and also did deep sea diving. Point being that once you have your big goal, divide that into a habit and then put it into your lifestyle and see your life change.
It is so true that your life can change in 1 year. Just 1 year of locking in. 1 year of just straight hustle, pure grind. And I have seen that in my own life. A year ago, I had a job that I hated. Number one, I was trying out this and this and this and just seeing which one clicked for me. Honestly though, never in a million years did I think of being a YouTuber. Never in a million years, honestly. Never thought about it. It never even crossed my mind. I tried it and I just always uploaded all the time, regardless of how I was feeling or how tired I was or how busy I was. I always put out content for you guys all the time, regardless of the outcome. And I had no clue how it all worked, but I learned one day at a time, honestly.
Consistency regardless of results. Consistency regardless of results. There is not a single person on this planet or anywhere in the world that wakes up every single day feeling motivated, because it doesn't exist. Motivation is this made up thing by society that we believe is the gap between us and our goals. But the results are naturally going to come when the commitments become a lot louder than the excuses. I do not wake up feeling motivated every single day. Nobody does. And a lot of times I wake up the majority of the time not wanting to do things that are going to get me towards my goals. But I force myself to do it anyways, not only because I'm going to feel better after I do it, but because I know it's going to get me to where I want to be in my life. The second that I decided that I no longer wanted to rely on this feeling of motivation, that was the exact moment that I got so much closer to where I wanted to be in my life. Motivation does not exist. It is made up, it is fake, and it is keeping you from where you want to be in your life. The way that you never rely on motivation ever again, and I implemented this into my life and I've seen results, I've seen success, is you set yourself up in a way that does not allow you to fail. You start being structured in your life. You start finding a way that works for you, a new system that allows you to stay disciplined, because you're going to wake up the majority of the time. You're going to feel very unmotivated to do the things that you want to do that are going to get you to your goals. And you need to find a way to break through that. You need to find a way to be so committed to yourself that you show up and you don't even care about how you're feeling. You're not relying on motivation, and you're not allowing external factors to drive your consistency and your actions in life. It is in that moment, making those decisions, that you will realize that you are the only thing in the way of where you want to be. You are the bridge between where you currently are and where you want to be in your life, becoming the most successful version of yourself, achieving anything that you want, becoming happy, living in your purpose, being confident. It is all you. It is dependent on your ability to show up and do the things that you need to do, regardless of what is going on around you, and not allowing your mind to talk you out of the things that you need to get done. That is how you take your power back. That is the moment that you allow yourself to live in your potential and realize how much you are actually worth. Recognizing your own value to the point that you don't give in to a feeling of laziness, and you are so committed to yourself that you want to keep that promise. You want to show up and do what it takes so that you can prove to yourself that you actually trust yourself and that you know that you have what it takes to achieve all the goals that you want. You have to find a way to be your own accountability partner. Growing up, it was easier for us because we had our parents, our siblings, the people around us holding us accountable to get up and go to school, or maybe to go to work, to do those chores and get some things done that we had to do. And now that we're adults, we are responsible for where we are, and we need to find a way to hold ourselves accountable. That is what motivation is. It is discipline, it is consistency, it is learning to keep promises to yourself and showing up every single day without the excuses. You deserve to live a life that fulfills you, and you have to be willing to do the hard and difficult things now so that your future self can live a softer and easier life. Because the more that you are putting off the difficult aspects right now, the harder you are making it on your future self. And that is the exact person that you need to think about every single day. That needs to be your why. You need to wake up every single day and you need to think about your future self and how they would feel about you making an excuse right now about not doing something that you know you need to do. Your future self is your accountability partner. Stop wasting your life. Stop waiting for the right moment. Stop wasting your potential, because you could be a lot closer to where you want to be if you just let go of everything and decided you're just going to be committed to yourself every day going forward, and you're not going to allow anything to talk you out of your goals. You're not going to allow anything to get in the way. You're going to remove all distractions. You're going to change your lifestyle. You're going to change your habits, and you're going to become a new identity so that you can actually become a match to what you want. I need you to stop playing games with yourself and give yourself permission to show up brand new in your life and release everything that is no longer serving you so that you can actually live your dream life. You can live in your potential. You can become the dream version of yourself that you've always wanted to become. And it is in those daily actions and habits that you are choosing that are building up over time. It is either building an identity that you no longer want to be, or it is building your dream self.
I don't even know if I'm gonna post this, but I just need to have it documented so I remember this when I feel like I'm going through it. So last year was like a really hard year for me. Like 2023, I got laid off from my job. I was going through like situationship issues, like family issues, everything. Like it was just stuff coming at me from every single direction possible. And it was crazy because at the beginning of that year, like I set really clear intentions with God, and I was like, you know, I want to be better with my financial goals. I want to be better in my friendships. I want to be better with like my family relationships. Like I had all these big goals and things that I wanted to accomplish, and then it seemed like God agreed with me on them, and then it was like boom, like chaos. So for the entire year, like I just felt so lost, and I was just struggling, and I was like questioning God in terms of like, why am I in this place when I felt like he promised me that he was going to propel me forward? It seems like everything is going backwards. So like, what's up? Like, God, what's up? And today I just landed in LA, and I'm here for a campaign shoot with my new job for an amazing campaign with an amazing celebrity talent that I obviously can't say right now, but it's just like, it's crazy what God can do in such a small amount of time. In the grand scheme of things, a year is a very short amount of time. And I know, like, it doesn't feel like that when you're going through it. Like, a year feels like forever. Trust me, I know, like, that year felt like 10. But God always has a plan, and he never disrupts you from your routine. He never throws you off the path that you're on to not replace it with something better. And I think that we lose sight of that, like, of course, when we're in the middle of whatever he's doing, but you have to remember that on the other side of whatever you're going through, God is going to give you something greater than you could ever even think of. So I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's just like a little bit of like delusion, loopiness, because I'm tired and I've been doing a million things over the past few weeks, or if it's this nice ass fucking hotel I'm staying in, like, or if it's just the fact that I'm getting to do something really, really amazing that I've wanted to do, like, in my career, and something that I wanted to bring to fruition, that I wanted to focus on for so long, and it's like happening. I don't know if it's just a combination of all three, but I'm so grateful. Like, I'm just so grateful, and I just wanted to share that with y'all. The lesson in this is just to never give up. Never forget that God is on your side. He's not working against you. He's working for you. Every single thing that happens is for you. And in a year from now, I promise you, in some way, shape, or form, you're going to be better off than where God found you. Always. 10 times out of 10. Maybe I'll do an LA vlog and take y'all with me for some of the stuff I'm doing, because I'm, of course, going to go out and see some friends and stuff while I'm here, too. So stay tuned.
I used to date a guy whose life motto was, your entire life can change in a year. It was saved as his phone background. He had it all over his Instagram. He would say it at random times until one day I was like, what does this mean? So then he starts to tell me about how 2 years before we met, he was living on his mom's couch. He had just gotten kicked out of school, and he was working a job at a nightclub that he really, really hated. But somehow he had come across this video on Instagram that had said like your life can change in a year, and he just started to change his life entirely. So he ended up going back to school, he was winning all these awards, he was being recruited by like all these different jobs, and after that he was like, I'm doing this. But when he told me this story, I immediately was like, I'm way smarter than this guy. Like, if he can do it, I can definitely do it. So I got to work. At the time, I had crippling anxiety, so I started to go to therapy. There were also a lot of people in my life that weren't serving me, so I got rid of them, including him. And I really started to go after the things I wanted in my career. And 1 year later, my life looked completely different. And ever since then, I decided that I wasn't going to let life happen to me. I was going to make life happen. That conversation happened maybe it was 4 years ago. And at this point, my life has changed so many times that I am completely unrecognizable. So if you really want to start living the life of your dreams, know that it is completely possible and that your life can totally change in just a year.
If you really lock in and take a year of your life, I know a year sounds like a long time, but a year in the grand scheme of things is not that long. And you really lock in, focus on investing in your appearance, focus on investing in your education, and focus on investing in your relationships. That 1 year is going to set you up to become a pretty wealthy woman and live a life you love, live the life of your dreams.
Okay, but what if you treated 2025 like a 1 year experiment? Like, what if you went into 2025 believing that absolutely anything was possible for you? You became delulu to the max. You put aside any limiting beliefs that might have been holding you back or preventing you from taking action towards certain things, and you just act like anything is possible for you in your life. Full on delulu. How would this change how you show up? Because this is what it'll change for you mentally. Doing this will allow you to release expectations. Oftentimes, we don't take action or make decisions because we're afraid of making the wrong decision. We get so focused on making the right decision that we become paralyzed because we're scared if we make the wrong decision, we won't be successful. But if this year is just an experiment, there's no consequences, we're just trying things out, there's no decisions. We're just taking chances and trying things. If it's an experiment, there's no pressure because it doesn't matter. And taking the pressure off is going to allow you to attract so much more into your life. I dare you to treat 2025 like your experimental year, where you just try shit because you want to. You follow your gut instinct. I promise if you go into this new year with this mindset, everything will change for you. The irony will be that there was never a wrong decision.
One thing that extremely successful people have in common is they know how to stay on top of it 24/7. Like, they have that fire underneath them all the time. These are my top ways to get out of a rut, and this is what will change your life in 1 year, is if you know how to constantly reinvent yourself and pull yourself out of that negative headspace. I promise at least one of these is going to help you snap back into reality. When I am in a rut and I'm feeling unmotivated and uninspired, it's because I stopped visualizing. If you followed me before, you know how much I talk about visualizing, but what it does is it shows you what you could have. You feel that energy of that person in the future, how good it would feel to move out or to have a boyfriend or to have that job you want, your business. When you're moving out of your present energy into a new energy, that is reinventing yourself. But what I'm doing again is I am jumping back into my morning meditation from Joe Dispenza and my evening one. Joe Dispenza talks about reinventing yourself right when you wake up in the morning. Out of anything from this video, please remember this. Your mornings are the prime time to reinvent yourself. You're moving through your past self and creating a new person. Your evenings are for socializing and for creativity. Right before bed, it is for reprogramming. So what I mean is, like, you should be setting out your day, all the to-dos you need to do, setting out your clothes, meal prepping, whatever. You're reprogramming to reinvent yourself. A good journaling exercise is thinking about your anger and utilizing it for good. And some of your anger might come from trauma that you experienced growing up, or things that you're currently experiencing, and things that you just don't want to repeat. Like, maybe it's generational trauma. Maybe you were bullied by someone and they tried to put some limit on you or label you in some way. Maybe you feel like, I'm spiritual, you feel like the devil is just working on you 24/7. I want you to think of everyone, because the reality is there are people who genuinely don't want to see you succeed. I want you to prove to yourself and to everyone else that you are limitless and that there is no cap. And no superstition, no devil, no bully is going to make me feel small. And I will prove to myself over and over again, no matter what obstacle, I will prevail. Other journaling exercise is journaling to your younger self and becoming the person that your younger self desperately needed. Sometimes thinking about your younger self and thinking about all the hopes and dreams that they've had is motivation enough to get things going. Be the hero that you needed. I did this last year and it worked so well for me, but I basically want you, we set goals, right? Intentions, we made vision boards for the end of the year for 2025, right? So what I want you to do, and this is what I did last year and it worked every single time. There is no plan B, okay? So I made a goal and I pushed it up a couple months and I was like, you know what? I don't want to wait to the end of the year to have this. I'm going to have this by this date. What I would do is I would set a date where you quit your job and you are a full-time business owner. What would you need to do right now to get ready for that date? What you're basically doing is you're like in action mode of like, wait, okay, I just set a date. I'm going to move out on this date. So what I need to do is I need to have a stable job. I'm going to look for jobs, right? Like you're showing up as a person you need to be by this date. And maybe you need to push up the date to make like your energy come up. Stop just setting goals of like, I want to do this and I'm going to just pick at it every single day for 30 minutes. Sometimes you just need to hustle. Sometimes you just need to get it done. Those are my top ways. Let me know if you have any more questions because I have more ways as well. Let me know if you want more journaling exercises or whatever you want.
So I saw this creator talking about how your life can change in 1 year. I was reflecting on my own life and I have literally changed year after year after year. Like the person that I am right now is not who I was even last year, which was like a whole month ago. So yeah, I want to share with you guys a few of the things that I did to change my life in a year. I think first we have to change the mindset around what it looks like to change your life. A lot of the content that we see on this tends to be around, you know, coming into a lot of money or quitting your job and doing something different. Like, you know, I think those things can affect your life in a major way, but there are other smaller things that can happen that can really change your life over time. So I think there are two ways to go about this. One, you can identify all of the things in your life that you want to change, and you can take the steps necessary to remove or shift them in a way that benefits you. Or you can change your habits. And before you ask, yes, I read the book Atomic Habits, but I do think that even before that, you can just recognize that the actions that you take every single day is who you ultimately become as a person. I think the first way can definitely be a bit more drastic, and it'll probably take you getting to that breaking point to actually make those changes. But with changing your habits, it's a little bit more doable because it'll take time. It'll take time to actually implement these habits into your life. So for myself, I did a little bit of both. I saw the areas of my life that I know I needed to change, and the things that I felt like I was ready to change, I just went ahead and did it. But with the other things that needed a little bit more time and I needed to, I guess, work myself up to that is something that I just like started practicing those habits with.
Learn when to pivot. Know when to move on from something that is not working. If something is not working, try something else. Learn how to pivot quickly. And if you know how to do this very well, you will not waste your time. You should be able to see results very quickly. If it is for you, you will see that stuff. It may be slow, but there are still real results that you can see. If there are no results, give up and move on to another thing. Sometimes things just don't work out for you. Sometimes things are just not for you, and you need to know that and accept it. And once you're able to do this, I promise you, life will become so much easier. And the only guarantee of failure is if you give up. If you give up, can't help yourself, but just keep on pushing. I'm telling you, in a year, your life will change. And that's a guarantee.
When you start to become more intentional about yourself, everything changes. When you start to prioritize yourself and you become the center of your world, along with God, of course, everything changes. You even start to date differently. In my opinion, I think a lot of women center men to be the center of their world. Like it's always about getting a man, finding a man, keeping a man. When you start to prioritize yourself and making yourself the center of your world, you start to realize, is this man enough for me? You don't want to rush into a relationship anymore. You actually want to take your time and be intentional because everything else in your life starts to become intentional. You actually start to date with a purpose, and I think that a lot of people can just sense that about you. Instead of you trying to convince somebody that you're a girlfriend or you're a wife, they just already know that about you, and they kind of feel that. It's something in your aura, it's something in your essence that kind of just oozes off of you. You're no longer trying to convince someone anymore because you already know that you are worthy enough. I think that makes you really slow down. You don't date from lack anymore. I think a lot of women and men too, they date from a place of lack. Oh, I will never meet someone as good as this person. Just appreciating yourself and appreciating your values. And when you start to really appreciate your values and appreciate yourself, you're only going to attract the same type of energy.
You want to see your life change really fucking fast? Just get definitive about what you want. That's it. Make the decision and be definitive. Like, this is what's going to happen. And then don't give up until it happens. A perfect example of this is like when you're a little kid and you want to have your friends sleep over, right? And your mom says no, but you just insist. You're like, I don't care what I have to do. This is going to happen. Maybe you decide you're like, oh, I'm going to do this for you, Mom. I'll do this chores, or I'll do something specific to like get you to like, let me have this. You go out of your way to make it happen until she finally caves and goes, okay, yeah, that's fine. You can have it. Like, your entire experience is like that. Everything you want, you can get if you just decide, I'm not settling for anything less. But you make the decision to give up on yourself. You make the decision to create excuses. You make the decision to be like, oh, you know what? Never mind. You make the decision to be like, I don't know how, and then decide to just not do it instead of figuring out how. Like, every time that you decide you want something, your experience will give you the exact tools to get it. It will give you the exact resources you need. It will give you everything. But if you don't decide, if you sit there and go, oh, well, there was a little roadblock, so never mind, this is kind of hard. I don't want to do it anymore. Then that's what your life is going to be. Decide what you want and stop at nothing until you get it.
If you don't think your life can change in 1 year, let me just tell you about my year. This time last year, 4th of July, I was so depressed after a narcissist's final discard. We had been broken up for about a month. My heart was breaking. It was becoming real. We were no contact. I had no friends to hang out with because all of my girlfriends had men. And so I went and hung out with my family, which really triggers me even to this day. But I clung on to my sanity by baking a big double chocolate chip cake. And I spent 2 days on that. And then the day of 4th of July, I brought it to my family get together. We cut the cake. I served it up to everybody, and then went home after dinner and was asleep in my bed while laying awake in my bed as I listened to the fireworks happening all around me, and I woke up alone. I had almost zero hopes that there were good men out there. Cue to 12 months later. I spent that 12 months healing, feeling my feelings, naming my feelings, really getting clear about the kind of energy I wanted in my life, letting people go or letting people take themselves out that were not committed to my happiness and peace and were not happy for me. And my circle got really, really small, but it's a good one. My friends are good. They show up for me. They're safe. And then on top of that, I met my soulmate. I met my person. I knew it on the very first date. I met him and I felt the universe tell me that is the one. He's your person. And we're getting married in 2 weeks. I'm sitting on a golf cart right now while my kids play in a water balloon fight in this stellar beachside neighborhood that he and I moved to and have settled down here. And I live less than a block from the beach, mere steps to the beach. I'm no longer working for the man and can spend all of my time now creating and writing and doing things that feed my soul and my heart. So I'm going to tell you right now, if you think things can't change in a year, you're wrong. They can. Just, you got to level up. You got to do the work. And how you do that is, do you.
I'm going to tell you a secret that changed my life. I used to have no sense of direction. I wanted a lot of different things, didn't really know how to get them. I kind of felt stuck in limbo. And then I met a bunch of people who just did stuff. Like, they went after what they wanted, just like that. Whether it was content creation, entrepreneurship, getting the job of their dreams, changing fields. For most of my life, I never saw people taking initiative and being bold in that way. So I thought they must have learned something. They must have some special knowledge. That's why they have the confidence and courage to make those moves. Nope. They are scared and they do it anyway. That is the answer. They're capable of executing quickly on their ideas and iterating. As in, they want to do a thing, they don't sit and ruminate and worry, they just give it a shot. And the first 10 to 100 attempts just fail miserably. They're not perfectionists, they're not neurotic, they're willing to learn through trial and error. They don't care if people laugh, they don't care if no one sees the vision. They're moving in silence, they're not broadcasting every up and down to the whole world. And a few years pass, and then everyone's like, how did you do it? That's it, that's the secret, now you know.
3 things I don't do anymore that have actually made my life so much better. Number 1, I stopped going to Starbucks. I was the kind of girl that was religiously at Starbucks for the green tea matcha lattes or for the cappuccinos with oat milk. And then I realized how unhealthy these Starbucks drinks are. I had fooled myself into thinking that matcha was actually really, really healthy for you, which it is, but not when you get it with all the ingredients that Starbucks puts into it that makes it taste so good. Once I stopped drinking Starbucks, I lost so much weight. My face cleared up from acne. My face just looked noticeably thinner, and I was saving hella money. Number 2, I stopped binging reality TV, which is like the biggest thing ever because I'm like the biggest Housewives junkie. Like Housewives was my religion at one point. Ugh. But I had to realize that all of the drama was causing so much like anxiety and stress into my own life. It really does trickle down on you and like your mindset. So I really noticed that the minute I stopped binging it all day, every day, I was just happier. The last thing I don't do anymore is listen to the music I used to listen to. So I'm a reggaeton kind of girl. I love me some Manuel, Bad Bunny. Like that was all my like life at one point. But then I was always sad and I was always kind of depressed and mad and angry. And I saw a video that talked about like the music that you listen to ends up really affecting you. So I'll still listen to my songs that I love from them like here and there once in a while, but it's not the kind of thing that I do first thing in the morning or I listen to all day, every day like I used to. Ever since I started cutting that out, I'm putting on songs that I actually like that have good messages in it or are just like manifestation songs. Like for example, you'd be surprised how many mainstream really, really good songs are actually like manifestations are in them. And I really feel like the more you listen to them, the more like your life just gets better and that have more positive messages. It is a game changer. I promise you, try it.
And a lot of times when I'm talking about my journey of no music for a whole entire year, people automatically go to something negative. A year? I can never do a year without no music. Why do I have to stop listening to music? What does music affect? You thinking about this the wrong way. It wasn't just like, oh, I want to stop listening to music just for the hell of it. No, y'all. The whole point was, okay, boom, I'm in this spot right now, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, and I need to get myself out permanently so that I never return to this place of how I'm feeling again. Therefore, every day I was like, you know what? I'm going to only listen to stuff that is going to uplift me, that's going to be positive, that's going to get the wheels turning in my head, that's going to put some ideas in my head. That's the goal. If you in a spot where you just like, I don't know what's going on with my life right now, I'm sad, I'm depressed, I don't got no money, you need to only be listening to stuff that's going to dig you out of that.
I appreciate you guys watching the video today. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.